Hollywood, we have a problem that has plagued the world of women since the dawn of cinema, a problem that, until now, has been hiding in the shadows, waiting for a fair and impartial news organization to finally shine a light on it. Is it the cliché that what a woman really wants is a baby?
I'll have what she's having.
No, that's not what we're having. How about the one where the woman is the voice of reason, but to everyone around her, she might as well be Helen Keller? Too obvious. Even the deaf, dumb and blind can see that one. Alright, there can only be one option left. Bring out the Lady Smurf. In a towering inferno of testosterone, there's at least one woman around to keep the boys in check. Hello, Black Widow. Is that you, Ray? Hey, Miss Piggy. Wrong again, for this cliché is far more insidious, far more pervasive, and far more sexist. It runs rife through Hollywood movies like chickenpox through a chicken factory on a Friday night. It is so endemic that most movies end, and most people, particularly straight white males, don't realize they have been completely exposed. It is virulent and violent. It is a very real affliction on cinema, yesteryear and today. Cast your mind to the Shawshank Redemption. What comes into focus? Andy locking himself inside the warden's office to play a song from The Marriage of Figaro. Beautiful, inspirational art. Yet, what of Andy's real marriage? Did his wife happen to have a name? What were her hobbies? Where did she go to college? No idea, because Andy is colorblind. He only sees red and the blue ocean of Zihuatanejo. The wife he went to prison for, 6 feet under, not even 6 minutes into the film. The Dark Knight, an even darker one for women. When it's not Batman's poor parents being gunned down in cold blood, it's his long-suffering girlfriend Rachel. The Joker toys with her like a cat playing with a paper bag. A knife to the throat, a throw out of the window. She's not a damsel in distress. She's a puppet on a string strung to the hands of the cinematic patriarchy. The Joker offers Batman a choice. Save your love or save your city. Where was Rachel's voice in all of this? The world's greatest detective does not detect the obvious trick, makes the wrong choice, and Rachel explodes like the sun. Now the son of Gotham has motivation for the rest of the movie, and Harvey Dent has another face. Why must an innocent woman die so a Batman can live? I am Maximus Decimus Meridius, and I will have my vengeance. For a wife who has less screen time than the average skipped YouTube commercial. Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife. That's right, not only are they nameless in the film, they are nameless in the script. The true travesty is not that they were killed by Commodus's cavalrymen, it's that for all of eternity they will be known as Maximus's son and Maximus's wife. Let's hope the gladiator is not asked to look up their names in Elysium, or he'll spend eternity trying to find them. So many women in movies, TV shows, and classical stories serve only one purpose: to serve men from the grave. Shrinking, a show that shrinks Jimmy's dead wife down to the size of nothing. John Wick, it's not even his dead wife that spurs him into action, it's his dead wife's dead dog. Snow White, the star of the story, a Disney darling, but locked inside a glass coffin until a handsome prince locks lips. This boulevard of broken dreams and dead wives has a name: Women in Refrigerator Syndrome, or for those who speak in the common tongue, fridging. How typical that this misogynist trope, this sexist cliché, is named after a kitchen appliance. Is it because women are coolly killed or frozen into a comatose state? No, it's because the Green Lantern, the white Green Lantern, the male Green Lantern, discovers the body of his girlfriend next to the purple stuff. An ice-cold murder to fire up the Lantern's heroic heart. The women of cinema deserve better. Izzy Austin, renowned film writer doing a PhD, says, It's insulting to the female characters because their only function is how they make other characters feel. And then it's insulting to the male characters because they don't actually get to feel anything new. The only thing the male characters feel is the insatiable urge to commit acts of violence. Dead wife make man sad, man process sad by doing violence. A clockwork orange, a clockwork outrage. It's time to clock on to the fact that husbands avenging their wives' deaths is way past its sell-by date. We need something fresh. We need something vibrant. We need wives waging war for murdered men, befallen boyfriends. Who are you husbands? It's time to tilt the fictional world on its axis and give fictional wives and girlfriends the peace and prosperity they deserve. The sexist status quo is enough to fill even the most impregnable of fertility cultures with rage. The trope annoys me to the brink of rage. Firstly, because it's dreadfully boring, and secondly, because it cannot be divorced from the greater context in which violence against women is endemic. We can no longer tolerate a world in which our fictional female loved ones are killed in cold cinematic blood to drive heroic male stories forward in big summer blockbusters. Why isn't Hollywood putting an end to this senseless make-believe violence? The answer: they have already tried and failed because they didn't try hard enough. Remember Patrick Swayze? In a rare example of a man meeting his end, he becomes a typical example of a man coming back from the dead. On Earth, it has happened once in 2,000 years. If it happened as many times as it does in Hollywood, the Messiah would be coming back every week.
I'll be back.
He wouldn't be the second coming, he'd be coming and going like a yo-yo. Churches would not be adorned with crosses, but with 2 discs and a piece of string in endless oscillation. Hollywood is a revolving door for deceased fictional men to come back like a bad case of the backdoor trots. Just when it looks like Demi Moore will finally be given a juicy revenge role and a fat protagonist paycheck, Patrick is back as a ghost. There is no batsuit for Demi, no Supergirl cape, no bad guys to chase down and kill, only some clay to mold in her underwear. Why didn't the Gladiator's wife cross over to put things right? How about Andy's Shawshank spouse? Why wasn't Batman forced to mold clay in his underpants? Ghost is an unchained melody to the patriarchy. The trope of the dead man defrost has haunted Hollywood for years. Captain America, Captain Comeback, 70 years on ice, warmed up to steal the show in 11 movies when Captain Marvel was there the whole time. Edge of Tomorrow, coming back today. 24 times. 24 times more than any other woman in the history of Hollywood. Groundhog Day, the man who cannot die until he figures out how to get Andy McDowell into the bedroom. RoboCop, Hollywood would rather bring back Peter Weller as an emotionless robot than put a badge on a woman. The only women cops in Hollywood, ones who do funny voices,
Zip your lips out your butts to the seat, listen hard!
or ones who are invited to dinner with a cannibal. The facts are clear. Death is no obstacle for male Hollywood heroes. For women, it's the end of the road, if there is a road at all. The Mummy, who is quite clearly a daddy, says, death is only the beginning. For him, yes, but for Mrs. Mummy, she's sent back to the Egyptian underworld faster than a DeLorean, going back to the future. Where we're going, we don't need roads or women. Where we're going is to a world in which the patriarchy is over, sexism is gone, women are no longer locked inside refrigerators, and men are no longer coming back like yo-yos. A world in which it is the strong woman who puts on the cape, and it is the handsome man who dies and one day doesn't come back. An all-man cast, a thing of the past. We now have glorious new all-woman casts to take their place, and what a beautiful place the world will be without Hollywood and the patriarchy. The era of killing fictional wives, fictional girlfriends, and fictional dogs for entertainment purposes is coming to an end. Hollywood, put down the shovel, stop burying our wives, and welcome in a new, fairer, and just era in entertainment.
May I have a glass of water, please?